Master. Just to be clear, timer, this is going to be 7 to 9. Okay, thank you. Are these unprecedented times? That's what I've heard. Let's have a look, shall we? But before we get into it today, I'm going to share the dialogue that goes on in my head on a daily basis. This may not be for the faint of heart, but I will continue anyway. For me, I can't know what I want to know until I know what I need to know. And I can't know what I need to know until I know what there is to know. I find this a wonderful process of discovery. One way I got here is that you probably know one of these quotes, you may not know the name. This is a theme throughout today's speech. His name is George Santayana, 1905. I found that he said one of two things. Those who can't remember the past are condemned to repeat it, or those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. I say it, my simple way is the reason to study history is to learn what to repeat and what not to repeat. Why? Because for me, history is the instruction manual. We need to open it up. How did I get here? Little background. I'm a CPA, forensic accountant, trial experience in bankruptcy court, state court, superior court. I've worked for plaintiffs and defendants. And I found out one thing. In court, the judge only wants to hear hard, cold, carved in stone, provable facts. No feelings or hopes. We know that Indiana Jones hunted artifacts. I hunt information facts. Another thing that led me here is a creature. Actually, The Creature from Jekyll Island, a book by Mr. G. Edward Griffin. That's what got me started. He's become a friend. I know that this journey may be difficult, but I find it inspiring. Almost in part to what Andrew was saying. Facts. Hard, cold, carved in stone. Give me the facts. Unprecedented times? Well, if you go back 2 or 3 years, maybe. Let's go back 300 years. As you know, I've been speaking on women of the American Revolution, the War for Liberty. They were incredible. Brave, courageous, strong, talented, committed. And they went completely out of their defined roles at that time to help create a new country. And I didn't even know their names. Forget what they did. I've also been studying the signers of the Declaration of Independence. When I first started my study, I didn't know there were 56 signatures on the document. And when I looked at the list, I only knew 5 of the 56 names, which means 51 guys put it all on the line for a dream. And I didn't even have the courtesy to know their name. I think I need to know more about my past before I can accurately describe my present. In this process of studying the women of the Revolution, American Revolution, the signers of the Declaration of Independence, I found another unsung, unknown, forgotten name, James Otis. You might be asking me, Alan, why the HE double hockey sticks do I want to know about this guy? Well, I'm going to tell you. He was born 1725. He attended Harvard, graduated at the age of 18, obviously a different time than now. He was a trained lawyer, considered a master of argument. He became a prosecutor for the Crown, but he gave that up. He gave it all up because in late 1750s, early 1760s, the British started using writs of assistance A writ of assistance gives the holder the right to search any home, any business for anything. The writ of assistance doesn't describe the place, the person, the things. Well, there was no way that James Otis was going to support that. In 1761, he was hired by Boston merchants to help them with their case on this. He went to the Superior Court of Massachusetts, and for 5 hours, he argued this case. 5 hours. He also slammed slavery at the time. Basically, he was telling the British Crown, bite me. Not a safe thing necessarily to do, but he did it. And if you read the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, you may start to think, is some of what Mr. Otis did connected to that? One more thing on Mr. Otis. We all know the phrase, no taxation without representation. But until I started my study, I didn't know it came from Mr. Otis. Here's the kicker to that 5-hour hearing. In the audience was a young 26-year-old, John Adams. 15 years later, he'd be in Philadelphia on the Committee of Five, charged with drafting the Declaration of Independence. Do you think Mr. Otis might have been the singular match that lit the patriotic fuse in John Adams? Possibly. In 1769, he was attacked by a British officer with a cane, beaten in the head, basically became non-functional, some say partially insane. He spent the rest of his life on a farm of a friend. In 1783, at the age of 58, during a storm, he walked outside the home. Big mistake. He was struck by lightning, killed. He didn't know the sage advice of Lee Trevino. If you're out in a storm, carry a 1-iron, because not even God can hit a 1-iron. Little golf joke. The upshot of all of this, I just want to learn more, because I don't know how much more I need to know before I know what I want to know. And I'm not about labeling, not a person, not a time. I'm about learning. And what amazes me, just going back the few hundred years that I have, all of these people, the women and the men through all these time periods, who they stood up to, what they fought for, what they believed in, what they suffered through, and that they actually literally put their lives on the line. That is amazing to me. So before I can say these are unprecedented times, I need to go back to the instruction manual, history. I need to read it. I need to study it. I need to learn from it and reflect on it. May you all be and stay safe and well, Madam Toastmaster.